How's it going, everyone? Sir Douglas here with a brand new video, and today, upon sober review, your 19-time reigning and defending Grey Cup champions, the Toronto Argonauts, sure as hell aren't playing like the reigning and defending Grey Cup champions. Quite frankly, they're playing like the Edmonton Elks of the last 4 seasons. Hamilton Tiger Cats came to BMO Field on Friday night, and to put it bluntly, they stole the Argos' lunch money. Final Hamilton 51, Toronto 38. Handed the Argos their 4th loss in the last 5 games. This is also Hamilton's 4th win in a row over the Toronto Argonauts, and that dates back to last season. This is also the first time the Argos have had more than 50 points put on them in a losing effort since 2019. It's crazy how many parallels I'm drawing between this season and that really shitty season. Now, I mention all the time about, you'll notice this on the channel sometimes, I talk about Argo killers, right? And so, Luke Tasker was one, Jalen Acklin was one, Braylon Addison and Sean Thomas Erlington are in the current context, but when it comes to Argo killers, Bo Levi Mitchell is the final boss. And we only seem to get to him during the playoffs. The rest of the time, like, he's been, especially against us, he's been untouchable. So, but that's just part of the story. Let's get to the depth. Well, let's talk about depth charts. The only real change that was on there was Mayan Williams. He got dropped because he's hurt, and the Argos re-signed Kalen LeBourne to come in and fill in his place, simply because, well, we've run out of running backs right now. They're all hurt. So Kevin Brown was a starter. Kalen LeBourne was the backup in the running back position. But other than that, there was no changes from last week's game against Ottawa. Now, when it came to this game, I wasn't going to rewatch it. I wasn't going to rewatch it because it's just going to drive me to drink and completely ruin the premise of the video. Although I'm pretty sure some of you would love to see upon drunken review of these games. You get that in the instant reactions and the shorts. But nonetheless, if you wanted to know how this game went, all you had to do was go through some of the stats. That's all you had to do, and that's what I'm going to do here. So we're going to start with quarterback stats for both teams. So Nick Arbuckle was 27 for 38, 339 yards, a touchdown and an interception, and he was only sacked once. Bo Levi Mitchell, on the other hand, was 19 for 24, 332 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was sacked twice. He had a perfect quarterback rating. Now, I know some people are going to say, I know some people have said to me, and I've overheard them saying that, take Nick Arbuckle out, put Tucker Horn in. Look, based off of those stats, the quarterback wasn't the problem. Nick Arbuckle, this was not his problem in the slightest. And I know and like I said, there are people that want him to be replaced, but I'm just saying, in this game, he was not the issue. I mean, hell, even if we had a healthy Chad Kelly in there, even if we had a healthy Chad Kelly in there, that, like, he wouldn't have been able to pull a win out of his ass in this one. Because allow me to continue. Kenny Lawler, he was 6 for 7, so he caught 6 balls off 7 targets, 207 yards and 3 touchdowns. The defense was getting victimized all night. And at one point he was stunting on him. It's some video gamers are gonna understand this reference. It's like playing Call of Duty, going into a lobby, and then there's one fool in there who's just gonna hit you with 360 no scope after 360 no scope after trick shot until you decide to fucking rage quit. That was Kenny Lawler on Friday night. Okay? Every single person on the defense, not just the secondary, but on the defense, need to have a good, long think about this loss. Because they are the ones, the defense, who normally bails the offense out. It was the defense who let us down on this one, and very clearly it showed. Here's another one that was an indictment of that. Hamilton had a 66.7 second down conversion rate, and they were getting 8.3 yards a play. So Hamilton was making first downs at will in this game. They always found a way to keep the Argo defense on the field, and the Argos simply just couldn't answer back. And I mean, that was very clear from the start of the game. Very clear from the start of the game. Here's another one. So for the Argos, 10 penalties for 71 yards. Discipline is still an issue. Discipline is still an issue. And I think Ryan Hunter needs to give himself a little bit of a self-reflection timeout, because he got nailed for illegal procedure. So for those of you who don't know, illegal procedure is the Canadian term for false start. He got nailed for that twice consecutively on a 2-point convert play. So what should have been an easy little run or little screen pass or whatever to get into the end zone now essentially becomes a first and goal from the 13-yard line. Missed points hurt us big time, and that's some of them. Here's another one. The Argos rushing. 12 attempts for 45 yards. They had a 3.8 average. So, not great, not terrible, but compared to Hamilton, who had 22 plays for over 100 yards, still not enough. I'll continue. Kevin Mittal, 8 for 9, 104 yards and a touchdown. DeMonte Coxey, 5 for 8, 76 yards and a touchdown. And Janarian Grant got a kick 6 via a lateral by Kevin Brown on a kickoff. At least they were trying. At least they were trying to keep up, because the defense simply was just not doing it. If you put up points, you have to try and prevent the other team from scoring. And our defense just simply, in this game, they just couldn't do it. And the final point that I'm going to bring up is Hamilton 17, Toronto 7 after the first quarter. That right there is the killer. And the first 2 touchdowns were Bo Levi Mitchell to Kenny Lawler. The Argos were playing catch-up ever since. From last year, this is what I gather is the plan against Toronto. If Hamilton doesn't get 17 points on Toronto in the very early going, then the Argos have a shot. And the first 2 losses against Hamilton last year, when they had Cameron Dukes under center, and I think Nick Arbuckle was under center for one game as well, Hamilton put up 17 points before the Argos could even blink. In those games, the Argos never had a chance. Last year, the final game at BMO Field last year, where Hamilton completed the sweep, they didn't manage to do that, and Hamilton barely escaped with a win. In the end, though, those stats are going to tell you the story about how the game went. The CFL put up also a list of their 3 stats that define the game, and 2 of 3 of them I agree with. I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. I'm not giving Deshaun Amos any credit on the INT at all. It was a rushed dog shit throw by Nick Arbuckle, and while it did lead to points, Hamilton would have won the game without it. So to me, inconsequential. The stats that I've listed, in my opinion, carry more weight, because it shows not only how good Hamilton's offense was, but it also showed how crap Toronto's defense was. It showed how the Argo defense couldn't stop a beach ball from getting a first down. Now, like I said, full credit where credit is due. Hamilton won that game. And they did it convincingly. Okay? I'm not going to bitch about any missed calls. I'm not going to bitch about I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse. We got beat. It happens. The Argos need to have a good long look at themselves over this bye week. The coaching staff needs to bring it back to basics. Okay? The philosophy of this. So, 2022 ring. See if I can, if I can get it to I don't know if I can get it to show up here, but yeah, it won't. But it says, okay, I can't get it to show up, but it says here, 1-0. 1-0 every week, 2% better every day. If they go back to those basics, they will improve. If they want to have a shot at the playoffs at this point, they have to improve. Because it doesn't get any easier with this next stretch. It doesn't get any easier because I got to go back to Montreal. They have to play Winnipeg twice in this stretch. They got to play BC in this stretch. It's not going to get any easier, folks. But if they go back to basics, go back to what brought you to the dance in the first 3 seasons that you were here, Coach Dinwiddie, I beg of you, bring it back to basics. If you do that, I think that us fans are going to get ourselves a 4th one of these in the span of a decade, and the quest for 20 will be complete. That's all I got this week. So the Argos are on the bye week this week. I've got something special planned. You'll see it when I post it. It's gonna be quite fun. It's gonna be something that's a little off the board for me, but I mean, I think I can get it to work. So stay tuned for that, and I will talk to you again then, and enjoy the bye week, folks. Hopefully we can get some good news out of it. Cheers, everybody.